Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to MCubed. I am Harrison. Today is not Thursday, but we're calling it Theater Thursday because this is our technical Theater Thursday stream. I apologize for my tardiness once again, but this week's been funky, but good funky, right? So let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this weekend. So it is already Friday. It is 3:30 p.m. over here on the West Coast, which means it's 6 o'clock. People are off work over there in New York and in the East Coast and everything like that. So what are y'all gonna go see this weekend? We really don't have a whole bunch of new stuff coming out this weekend, sadly. It's kind of our first, I don't want to say lull, but it's a little bit of a lull of the year. Third weekend, we hit the first 2 weeks off pretty damn well, actually, with Plane and all these things coming out this past weekend, House Party and a couple others, The Devil Conspiracy. And the weekend prior to that, of course, we had Megan, and it's been a great intro to the year. So this weekend, we only have two things that I can think of that really are brand new, and that is the sequel to the movie Searching, which I have not seen. So I have not seen Missing, which is the new sequel, out in theaters just yet. And then in a small release, we have Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut, When You Finish Saving the World, which looks kind of interesting, honestly. It has Julianne Moore, and it has Finn Wolfhard, a couple other good names in there. And I'm excited. I think it has potential there. Howdy, Shelly. How you doing? But yeah, those are really our only premieres this weekend. Missing, I assume, is a much larger premiere. I don't know how many theaters it is in, but I would probably say I'd guesstimate over 1,000. So probably like 1,200, 1,400, which is most of the United States, probably some Canada, et cetera, et cetera. But When You Finish Saving the World, I believe, is only in New York and LA right now. I meant to go see it last night. Things went awry. Timing is timing, But I'm going to try to go see it this weekend at like an Alamo Draft House or something like that. And it looks pretty damn good. So if we just have to guesstimate box office-wise what these movies are going to make this weekend, let's start with When You Finish Saving the World, because it is a much smaller release in just two cities. Even though they are the two big film cities, it's not going to make that much. So I'm going to give it a range of 1 to 5 million is my guess, which is all over the place, of course. If I had to give it a precise number, I'm going to go with 2 million. I'm lowballing it at less than $1 million, at like probably, let's say $800,000 maybe this weekend. And I doubt it, but my highball would be 5 or 6 million, I don't think it's going to reach that just because it is only two cities, but the two cities are big cities, and there's really not that much new coming out this weekend. So because it may be a new thing and it's kind of just exclusive to those cities, sometimes that it increases people's want to go see them. And who knows, maybe it'll get higher in the dollars area right there, but I'm not for sure about that one by any means. So what else is out this weekend? Essentially everything that was out last weekend. So last weekend, of course, Avatar 2 still made the most amount of money. It made $31 million going into, I believe it was its fourth or fifth weekend last weekend. I want to say fourth. And if I have to guesstimate what it's going to make this weekend, I'm going to go 28 million. If I'm lowballing it, I'm going to say 24 million. And if I'm highballing it, I'm going to say 32 million. Because once again, there's really not a whole bunch coming out this weekend. So I don't think it's going to go lower than 24, 25. I just don't think that's going to happen yet. It's still the biggest thing out right now, like by a wide margin. And if there's not just a bunch of new cool things coming out this weekend, what are people going to go see? They're going to go see Avatar. But if they don't go see Avatar, what are they going to go check out? Shelly, it's our favorite. It's Megan. And Megan made $17 million last weekend. That's right. And the cool thing is it's only, 3 weeks out, and Megan has already been renewed for a sequel, which Blumhouse does pretty frequently. And, I'm excited for this one. It's going to be called Megan 2.0, which is just kind of odd because Megan has the 3 in it. I don't know how they would have worked a 2 into that title, but Megan 2.0 sounds cool. It sounds like some AI stuff. So I'm intrigued by it. I have a few ideas of where it may go, some theories you may say, but I don't know. I'm intrigued. I know it's the same cast, not the same like whole cast, but Allison Williams and what is the young actress's name? I want to say her name is Violet something. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that one. But I know they're both coming back to the new film, and the same director, and not director, excuse me, maybe director. I would assume the same director, but also the same screenwriters coming back. So we're gonna get all that campiness, all that goodness. I'm excited because she did really, really well with this. I believe her name is Akilah Cooper, if I remember off the top of my head. She did *Malignant* prior to this, and I was not a fan of *Malignant*. I'll be honest. I just that wasn't for me. But Megan was great. So hold up. I'm gonna cut myself off real quick because I forgot to turn my AC off. 2 seconds. A lot less hum. Now we're back. All right. So Megan sounds great. Again, I mean, why not go see it? If you don't go see it this weekend, go get the cheaper ticket on Tuesday. But we'll go talk about that on Tuesday, and on Tuesday this time. But if I'm lowballing it, if it made $17 million last weekend, I'm gonna say it'll make 13. Because once again, there's not a whole bunch out this weekend. What are people gonna go see? If they've already seen Avatar once, maybe even twice, if you're me, 4 times, you're going to go check out something else, and that would be Megan, right? But if I'm highballing it because there aren't that many new things coming out this weekend, and at this point, it is a month later, most people have seen Avatar. Maybe not most people, but it's getting up there towards where it will be most people. Who knows? It could make upwards of $20 million. I'd love to see Megan make $20 million again. Make more than its second, make more than its second weekend. That'd be cool. I don't expect it necessarily though, so I'm going to give you my precise guess at 15 million. I think that'll be our sweet spot right there. And I think that's pretty reasonable for Megan to hit. I really think because there aren't a whole bunch of new things coming out, and it's just an inventive and fun film, people are going to run right to it. So that brings us to Puss in Boots again. And Puss in Boots made $13 million this previous weekend. So what is it going to make this weekend? I don't know if Puss in Boots is going to hit that same mark where the others are maybe going to get a higher boost because there aren't a bunch of new things coming out this weekend, because it's a family film. And honestly, most family film oriented moviegoers right now are still going to go check out Avatar. And I think that family kind of grouping is going to probably be what gives Avatar its legs for the next maybe month and a half. Who knows how long it'll be? Because James Cameron will keep it in the movie theater as long as possible. Never Shelley, not Avatar. Ugh, it's so good. It's so good. It's okay. The writing is not perfect, but the story has heart. The story has soul. And thus the world. The world, I mean, if the story and the has heart and soul, the world has heart and soul, because that world building is done. Oh God, I'm almost hurting my own Star Wars heart here, but I think it's done as good as George Lucas did the original Star Wars, world building wise, because it just brings you and encapsulates you into a place that is not Earth. It's similar in a lot of ways, but it's not here. And I don't know. It's movie escapism, yes, but it's more than that. It's almost like an exploration movie. I'm hoping it's an exploration movie, and that's what our future looks like in the next couple hundred years. Not the whole us destroying the planet and having to go seek out other things. But I knew that, but if I can try to convince you to go see Avatar, I'm gonna take the opportunity. If I see the opportunity, I gotta take it. But so Puss in Boots. We'll get back to Puss in Boots. Stay on track here, because I'm not gonna make this that long of a stream. I'm trying to set up Darth Gunnersaurus' stream for later. So if you want to go check out him gaming Jurassic World, you know where to go. But yeah, to get back on track, because this is probably going to be like a 20-25 minute stream instead of my usual 30, 35, maybe 40. And yeah, Puss in Boots, I don't think it's going to take in that same family dynamic that Avatar probably will end up taking. To get back to the point, I'm a little ADD. I'll circle back to the point eventually. But I think because it made 13 million this past weekend, I think 10 million is a good sweet spot for it. I think if I'm lowballing it, 8 million, which I really hope it goes 10 million because I want those double digits for as many movies as possible. And if I'm highballing it, 15. I don't think it's going to hit 15, but I would like it to. That would be great. It would probably mean a little less for Avatar, but that's all right. Share the bread, share the pie. But A Man Called Otto is last in I guess our general family category, and it made $12 million last weekend, which y'all knew I didn't expect. I thought it was going to make less than that because it opened so low, but I didn't realize it was a soft opening. Not as soft an opening as When You Finish Saving the World, because that's only 2 cities in the whole United States, and pretty sure it's not airing anywhere else in the world either, because A24 it keeps it fairly local to a degree. But A Man Called Otto made $12 million in its wide release last year. So not last year, excuse me, last week. So if I got to guesstimate, I think it's going to make 10. I hope it makes those double digits again because I just like seeing more movies make those double digits, right? If I'm lowballing it, I'm going to say it's $6 million. If I'm highballing it, I'm going to say $14 million. But oddly enough, I don't know if Tom Hanks playing Angry Dad is this. I mean, as family oriented as that may seem, and it probably is, I think Avatar 2 and Puss in Boots will get people in the theater more so than A Man Called Otto for that just category of person. If you're a family, I'd bring my kids to Puss in Boots or Avatar, either one, honestly, because I keep telling you I want to go see A Man Called Otto, but I just haven't yet. I need to just for the sake of it, but I haven't yet. But then, last but not least, in our guests, in my I would say our heavy hitters for this weekend and the last weekend, Plane made $10 million in its opening debut weekend this past weekend, and I'd like to see it do better, honestly, because there aren't many movies coming out this weekend, and the ones that are missing. And When You Finish Saving the World, so not the most family-oriented films, and we have 3 other films for family-oriented moviegoers to go see. So what is the general audience goer going to go see? I'm hoping it's going to be Plane. I'm hoping that's a big surprise this weekend, and even though it made $10 million last weekend, I'd love my highball guess is 13 million. I'd love to see it make 13 million. I don't expect it to. I expect it to make about 8 million. And if I got to low ball it, it's going to be 7. I think it'll hit 8. I don't think it'll go much lower than 8. So 7 is going to be my low ball. High ball is going to be 13 though. I really, really would love to see it do better than it did at its debut weekend, because that's what you want to see from movies, especially going into a new year. 8 million is my sweet spot though. That's kind of where I think it'll stay, and I'd love for it to do more. I'd love for it to beat its $10 million debut. But I guess we should talk about it just a little bit, because I talked about it last week, because it's a comedy movie. It's really the only comedy movie in theaters right now, unless you consider Puss in Boots or Megan a comedy, which both kind of have their own comical aspects to them. But House Party is our first true comedy film of the year. And, it didn't really do it for me overall. It made $3.9 million in its debut last weekend. I don't see it really doing better. But if I'm gonna highball it, because once again, not a whole bunch coming out this weekend, I'm gonna give it to 4. I maybe it'll make more than its debut weekend, but is that really saying too much when it was $4 million? Because A Man Called Otto did do that within the last 2 weeks. It went from 4 million to 12 million, but that was soft to a wide release. I think House Party got theaters taken away within the week. Don't quote me on that, not positive, but pretty sure a lot of theaters do. A lot of movies will do that with theaters if it's not hitting with their audiences. And if I had to lowball it, I'm going to say $1 million is what it's going to make, though. I think that sweet spot. I think it'll make about 2 million, maybe 2.5 million, if I really have to be specific. But I don't see it having much legs. It will do well on streaming. I don't know about how well, but I think it will do a lot better on streaming. It just feels a lot more like a direct-to-streaming movie nowadays. This movie felt like even a B-level Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds or whoever, whatever Kevin, what was it, Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell this past year? Maybe there were 2 different films that Netflix did. And it just felt like one of those things that they're just tossing out there. Not great. Makes you chuckle a bunch, but it's you don't get those hearty laughs like you used to. And I really hope the comedy genre has something this year that just takes us back. Something, please. Because horror has been having a wonderful revolution as of late. Last year was, I mean, we had the Black Phone, we had Smile, we had Barbarian. Megan technically premiered at the very end of the year. We had Pearl, we had X, we had X, then Pearl, if I'm saying in the right order. And we know we're getting the third, which, oh, there we go. See, I forgot it the other day, and I just needed to wait a couple of days. Maxine with the three X's in the middle. It's going to go X, Pearl to Maxine, and that's your trifecta. That's your trilogy. Started in 2022 and ends in 2023. A year and a half, and you have 3 films out. It's thank you, Ty West. Thank you, Mia Goth. It's great because I love seeing a revolution of horror films that are unique and interesting. Not like it's not Saw 10. It's not Halloween, the third reboot and the third sequel to whatever. It's not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now it's not yada yada yada. Now it's just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We can get that stuff, and it's all good and fun. And it allows filmmakers to really try their hand at something well known and interesting, and do some fun, gory stuff for decent budgets without being too high of budgets. Great. There's a place for that. But I really, really love how horror has not redefined itself by any means in the last year, but has come back with a smile, as the movie Smile showed us last year. My favorite from the past year was Barbarian, but where horror did 2022 really well, and 2021 prior to that, I really hope comedy comes back in 2023 and 2024 as well, because it's been kind of just degrading the last couple years. There's just nothing worth getting excited about anymore, which that pains me to say. I mean, you can see on my face I don't like saying that, because I want good, funny movies. The last movie that I was excited about, that I thought I would be excited for comically, was, I think, that Sherlock Holmes with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. And then I saw the commercial for it, and I still haven't watched the movie. So I can't truly comment on that. But I've lost my. I need to be reinvigorated with comedy. We need something good. We need something good and new, just like horror has been doing. I think right now, though, is not the time for comedy. It's always the time for comedy, but I don't know if it's the time for the comedy revival. I want it to happen, and I keep saying I want it to happen, but I think right now is actually the action movie revival, and not in it ever went away, because it never did. And of course, the last couple of years we've been getting John Wick, we've been getting Nobody, we've been getting all these really great, cool action movies. We've been getting some not so great action movies, like the Hitman Bodyguard, the Hitman Bodyguard Wife, the 355, the Protege last year, all decent, but they just really they're nothing special. Plane, I think, brings something special back, because that feels like that 80s 90s, just it's there. It doesn't need a sequel. It's not searching for anything. It tells you the story it wants to tell. It tells you it well. It tells you it precisely, and it's just a good time. And I feel like a lot of horror movies are kind of coming back to that, especially with Violent Night ending last year, and with the beginning of this year, starting with Plane. I think we're in a good way for action movies. I'd love for the comedy to happen. So come on, comedy, please, please, please. But I really think we are in the action era, which is good, because we've all been holed up the last couple of years sitting around. Let's get moving again, something like that, But once again, I'm gonna go sit down in a movie theater. It's a little bit of an oxymoron, but a little irony always does as well, right? Honestly, y'all, this might be a really short stream. I might end it at 20 minutes, because that's kind of all I got for you this weekend, because I really haven't gone to the movie theaters much this past week, which hurts my soul. I keep trying. It's been a busy week, but that's good, because we are setting things up for the future. I know tomorrow we do have Schmook's stream, and he's going to be doing Saturday streams. I'm not positive what time yet, so keep open the community tab for MCubed, and we'll put a nice post in there. But I want to say he's Central Standard Time, and I would guesstimate afternoonish, somewhere around there. And it's going to be about movie news, rumors. He's going to be playing a video game. I don't know exactly what video game. I need to ask him. If I have to guess, though, it's going to be The Last of Us, because I know Last of Us is on his brain. But no, it's going to be a fun stream. There's a lot of rumors just going on, especially with James Gunn and DC. And if you haven't seen the whole James Gunn, Peter Safran, with a little bit of Snyder talk, of course, video on our channel. It's about an hour. It's a little over an hour. It has Brad and Schmook just discussing all of it. Go check that out because it's really interesting. And you'll probably get that video 0.5, like the sequel to it, essentially, tomorrow in a live stream. I know once James Gunn and Peter Safran do announce all their slate, but Brad and Schmook are going to probably do another video. But in the meantime, we got our streams because there's so much stuff to talk about that's going on. Jason Momoa as Lobo, possibly. Come on. It'd be fun. It'd be so much fun. But we'll see. So check rumors and news tomorrow. Sunday, of course, check me out on Sidetrack. I know Shelly will be there, and come say hi in the comments. You know, I like talking, and Jamie and Stormy are going to be there, so it's going to be a good time. And I think our topic, once again, is going to be the 5 best sci-fi shows ever, in our own opinions. So there will be plenty of debate. There will be plenty of debacle. And not much debauchery because we're all on the screens. But, you know, we'll be talking, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. And Sunday evening, back over here on MCubed, we will have Schmook again. 2 days in a row. That's a lot of Schmook. You got weekends with Schmook. It's not too shabby, huh? But on Sunday evening, we're going to have Schmook stream the second afterthoughts to The Last of Us. And we're excited about that. I'm excited about that. More Last of Us. Come on, please. I really like that series so far, and I'm ecstatic to see where it goes. So, come back tomorrow. Schmook will be streaming about movie news, movie rumors, probably some video game rumors and news too, just for the sake of talking while he's playing a video game. And Sunday, we'll be streaming on MCubed in the evening time, our afterthought show on The Last of Us. And in the morning, go check me out on Sidetrack, and we'll be hanging out with Jamie and Stormy over there. So come say howdy. And that's all for me today. So come back to MCubed for some movie love and goodness. And we'll be back Tuesdays, Thursdays myself. And I will see y'all. See ya, Shelly.